Hello, hello. Welcome back to E3 2021. Do you want a chance to win a $100 gift card from DoorDash? Simply tag and follow at DoorDash on Twitter for your chance to win. I want money and DoorDash stuff. Sounds great. Anyway, we just finished watching the GameSpot presentation. Survival horror to cooking soup to brewing beer. What the duck, people? Yeah. I was like, really want to make sure I got duck out there. Yeah. Anyway, there was tons of great stuff there. But Michael, you know, we were chatting yesterday and there were a lot of heavy topics addressed as well. And you're obviously our representative from GameSpot. And you wanted to elaborate on what the main message of the presentation was.
Yeah, first off, I want to give a special shout out to Tamar Hussein, who is one of my best friends at GameSpot. He does incredible work, and I miss him very much, and I can't wait to hang out with him again. He put a lot of effort into making this happen, because when we're having conversations about what we want to do for Play for All, which is our kind of charity drive and showcase for the summer, we wanted to drive, you know, games that are that cover things like mental illness, representation, just people who are able to express themselves, who don't always get the chance to show their games on such a big stage. And that was the objective. And I feel like it was really achieved because Tam is such a great guy, and like not just because he's my manager, but he's been a good friend and an inspiration for a very long time. So Tamar, shouts out to you. Thank you, dog. And a special shout out also to Justin Woodward, who's also from Southeast San Diego. Represent. He's the one who runs the mix, and y'all saw him on there. But Tam and Justin really did a great job at representing what we wanted to do with the Play for All showcase. So, yeah.
Michael, you're making me emotional.
I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, I can see you're getting emotional. Yeah. But you know, talking about getting emotional, I felt like there was such range with this presentation. Avi, you know, we were up there watching, and I felt like I was watching Spiral and I wanted to cry just within that 10 seconds, but then there was chill, fun ones with, what was it called? Rain on My Parade, and with the little clouds. So I don't know, what was sticking out to you on the chill and crying kind of radar, I guess?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, when we were looking at Spiral, the first thing I said was, I'm like, is this like a game that's gonna make me cry? Is this looking like a To the Moon, since we have like an old man kind of like going through his life? And then we saw the dog appear on screen and we're like, yep, we're gonna cry. But yeah, Rain on Your Parade looks super cute. You're able to rain quite literally. There was a wedding. You could drop bread onto pigeons. Like, this looks like a funny game, and similar to, you know, as you introed in, we have games like What the Duck, and it's really cool to see all of these games take like more of a comedic, kind of like laid back angle, rather than let's drive really hard on the narrative. So you could just sit down and have fun. And look, you're given the nice lady lipstick. But I mean, Michael, you were talking about, you know, representation and everything, and feeling included. And I feel represented when I saw Derpy Conga, because I'm like, oh, okay, so I can grab people's hands with me. I'll grab Jackie, I'll grab Dan, and then attempt to jump over like a cliff or something. And if we make it, you know, or if we go down, regardless, we're doing it together.
Damon, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit. You're like a veteran in this industry, I feel like, and you always talk about how much you appreciate indie games. So I just wanted to talk to you about what this presentation meant to you. I think we just saw such a range, and we heard these developers talking about the struggles that they face and just them trying to get resources, and you've kind of spoken about that before.
Yeah, well, I was super impressed with the lineup that you guys put together.
Thank you.
We're at the end of day 4 of E3, and we just saw a bunch of new games that still look awesome, and from a really diverse lineup of developers too. And they talked a little bit how it's sort of important to get games from voices that we haven't necessarily heard enough of in the past in front of gamers. And there are several that I saw today that I was really excited about. First up, El Paso Elsewhere. I think as soon as that game was up, we were all like, well, Max Payne with monsters. Yes. They're even sort of nailing that year 2000 PC third-person shooter look. That one looks really cool. It's got the bullet time and everything. I love Freshly Frosted because I love cookies and donuts. I think, and that one's all about frosting the bakery items in the right order, getting them over the conveyor belts. Maybe a little choo-choo rocket-ish in there. Maybe even my wife would play that one because she loves to bake. And then I loved Chinatown Detective Agency. That's the name, right? Chinatown Detective Agency?
So, yeah.
Taking a cue from Carmen Sandiego, where in order to solve the mysteries, you're going to have to do some real-world research. And that was yet another game here at E3 that had just awesome pixel art.
Aw, Damon had a long list of ones that he liked there. Dan, I want to talk to you. I think that a lot of these games talked about mental health, and in particular, She Dreams Elsewhere stuck out to me. And I just thought that it was this very unique blend, obviously very retro.
Hello, everybody.
But the
So
developer spoke and was
this is
saying
the
that
final
I basically
planned event
wanted
for
people to know
E3.
that it's okay to not be okay.
And
I just thought that was such a
basically
strong
we
message, and
are-
what's so
it's
cool
basically
about the
gonna
GameSpot
happen
presentation is that we
5
heard so many
minutes?
people talking about mental health.
Should
and
be
I feel
5
like
minutes.
these creators can take those
But yeah,
risks.
it's kind of
Yeah,
just an
absolutely. I thought it was a
E3
phenomenal
award show
showcase.
and
Shout out to
everything.
Tam and the
But
entire team over at GameSpot.
I don't know if they're
Yeah,
doing any
incredibly
more
well done. So
announcements. If
many
it's not, I
amazing
mean, at
games that
least
I now want
we'll be able to
play
see
and add
what's
my
going
wish list.
on.
Yeah.
And chief
and
among
everything,
them is Shooters
so-
Elsewhere because they kind of lure you in with
put
that,
that up a little bit.
Undertale-esque vibe, but there's
But,
so much
yeah,
more
so pretty
simmering
much-
beneath the surface. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel
there's a
necessarily
lot of
sort
stuff that
tongue-in-cheek is what you'd expect from a game like Undertale.
came out
but
pretty
I loved
good
the
this year.
aesthetic. I loved sort of the gameplay
There's
that
also
we saw
some
there. I love the message
disappointments,
behind it.
like
A lot of
especially with
people,
the press
still
conference and stuff,
stigmatize
like
things like going to therapy, talking about mental health. When
Square
really,
Enix,
the only way you're going to get
it's
better, the only way you're going to
no,
get right
hold
and
up.
feel better about yourself and just how everything's
At least
going.
my
I mean, we went
disappointments
through a
for
global pandemic.
E3
Many of us
was
are still going
basically
through a global pandemic.
Verizon,
There is a lot of
Intellivision,
residual trauma there, and
Square
whether you process
Enix-
that through creating art like
No,
video
no, no.
games
That's
or
not
talking
actually-
to
never mind,
friends,
too bad.
talking to
Square
loved
Enix
ones,
at least had
talking
one
to
thing.
licensed healthcare professionals. That
Bandai
is definitely
Namco,
something
because
that
it only
should
showed
be more
off
talked
one
about, more
game,
accepted.
which was
And if you
apparently
see someone
the
stigmatizing that in the chat,
new Houses
just,
of Darkness.
Tell that person to go to hell,
'Cause
log off, touch grass. They need to like.
I
get
was
their life
really
together.
hoping at least
Ideally,
they would
they
show
need
at least
therapy
more
too,
games or
but that might
DLCs
not
they
be
would
the
have in
case.
store
But on a more positive
for
note,
all the
Super
other
Drink
games, like
Brothers, a
especially
game
like
about getting
Ace
that
Combat I
aggression
have
out
right now.
as a can of soda by beating the
Especially the
ever-loving
fact
crap
that
out of
like
another can
Flight
of soda.
Simulator
I
had
really
something
liked
in
that one.
tie-in with
super joyous, super fun, super raucous.
with
Golden
the
Boy and I were kind
Top
of
Gun
geeking out about
that was coming out
upstairs.
this year.
Also, I enjoyed
So I was hoping that
Onsen
they would have at
Master. I
least
love
like
a
a
game
maybe a
that is
mission
influenced by
or
Studio Ghibli,
you know
Spirited
put at
Away.
least the planes
And
from
also
Top
just
Gun
look- it
into
looked
Ace
incredibly
Combat
relaxing
or
and
even the
showed same
skins
vibe
and
I got
everything
from,
too. Or even the
Freshly
voices
Frosted.
too,
Damon
but
reached into my brain and took
course,
all the
no,
games
they were
I
just
was
showing
going
the
to
House
talk
of
about, but
Darkness, so-
thankfully there were so many awesome ones that I can talk about these too. But games like Freshly Frosted, Onsen Master, they look just kind of relaxing.
But no,
which
yeah, freaking
after the year that we've all had as a
Nintendo was
society,
a really
I
good
think that
one.
we
There
could all
is,
use a little
I was not
relaxation with a
expecting
game like that,
them to
so
show
I'm very
gameplay for
excited to
Breath of
play
the
those
Wild.
when they come out.
Okay,
Nor was
love
I
that both of you have,
expecting
like, such long
Advance
lists. I was gonna
Wars
ask y'all what your
1 and 2
favorites
getting
were, but I just
remade
think
and
my
remastered
list had, like,
onto
at
the
least 8
Switch.
titles on there, so I think we
Nor
all
is
just
there another
thoroughly enjoyed
WarioWare
the
game, as
presentation.
well as like
I am really sad
mean-
right now. I have to say goodbye to you guys, and I don't even know how to
I was
start.
also not
I've,
expecting
been
to,
going through my brain
another
about
Mario
how I'm
Party
going
game
to
too as well,
exit this,
so-
and I really don't know what to say.
which
I've had the honor
apparently
and
has
pleasure to
classic
work with many
game
of you,
maps and
outside of
game
this event,
mini games too as
but
well.
getting
So
to see all of you again, I just remembered, and I mean, I already knew this, but I realized tenfold how awesome all of you are. So it's been awesome. It's been fantastic. You guys
super
are
fun.
amazing. So I don't know if really quickly you want to do a round robin and just say like, y'all rock to everyone who's watching, or if there's just something you want to say.
Are you
really
laughing? I
quick,
just
Damon?
did this for no
obviously
reason.
you all
though.
rock. Thank you so much for hanging out with us over these past 4 days. Happy E3, everybody.
On behalf of Soup Pot, which was one of my favorite games at the GameSpot Showcase, Salamat Sayong Lahat.
Thanks for listening to me talk about Lady D and Bayonetta my name's Avli. You can find me at G4 Content.
And,
Oh, Dan! We've got
and Dan.
Did you cut off Dan?
That's all. No, have a great day.
That's
Thank
okay.
you. And Dan.
All right. Well, don't worry. They're going to be back here later. We're going to bring them back on stage later. But this is basically our last segment, talking about games and reacting together. But we still have so much left, so do not go anywhere. Make sure you're sticking around, because still ahead, it's our E3 Awards. Which games were the most anticipated from our studios? Stick around and find out as E3 2021 continues. We'll see you in a little bit.
So if Def Jam hit me up to be in the game, give me some muscles or something. What would be the name of my super move? Auto Bruise?
But yeah,
Pretty
freaking
bad.
E3's always been my
Rapper
favorite
Tank
event every year.
These are getting
Which
worse.
is why I was super sad to see it canceled last year with everybody. Because also the fact that
the
like
Precious Stones,
the only reason why I love
Precious
E3
Stones.
because
That's
it's
what it is.
one
big ass chain comes off.
single
Wow, right across
announcements
the face.
from
It's over.
every
Precious
single
Stones.
company announcing
Look at
at
that.
one point.
Precious Stones.
Well, yeah, like announcing at every single point of what's going to be coming later on in the year, coming soon, and even up what's going to be being made currently within the next couple of years too as well.
Innovation. It's happening
So-
all around us.
But yeah,
We don't know
freaking
what
that's
tomorrow
probably the
will
main
bring,
reason why I really
but we
love
know
E3
our
every year,
broadband
just
network will
just
be
because the
ready.
hype level
Because
they can
we're
manage,
building
like
it
how you
right
can
now.
get,
It's
it's
more
just so
reliable,
good.
more secure,
Especially
and
the fact
10
that like,
times faster than today.
because
10G
as I said, there's
will
some games
power
I was not
America's
expecting to be
digital
announced
future.
that
We're ready
anything.
for what's next.
Which is
Are
also
you?
which is also the reason why I was like sad from last year, because you kind of have to like figure out, okay, so Sony's doing a Play Store or they're doing their own stream on this day, and then a couple weeks later Nintendo will be on, then after that freaking Xbox. So it gets a little scattered once you start trying to get everything, when everybody's trying to show off their own things too as well. But with E3, everybody can collab together,
Summer of Gaming has officially partnered with
show
the
off
ESA
their
for
big
E3 2021.
show off their big
IGN
games and
Summer of
everything,
Gaming is now
and
all
then after
summer long.
the main
From
reveal and
major
everything,
press
they can easily just
conferences
start
and
doing their own
announcements
thing,
at
showing off little
2021
updates
to
and
the
stuff that
IGN Expo
are
with
little more
exclusive
stuff and everything
gameplay
too.
and
So
reveals, to exciting first looks at the hottest new games and in-depth developer
stable.
interviews.
But no,
IGN
yeah,
Summer of Gaming
it's
has
something
it all.
I really enjoy,
IGN
and which
Summer of Gaming begins right now.
Hello,
But
and
yeah,
welcome back
which
to
hopefully
E3
that,
2021.
next year
Video
will be
games
in
are
person,
for everyone, and gamers
and
come from
basically
all
I
walks of
really
life.
just
So
want to
it
go
would
to
seem
LA and
obvious
actually
that the characters and heroes we play
there
in these
and check out the
virtual
booth and stuff
realities
too.
represent that diversity. But the hard truth is, it hasn't always been this way. So we turn to the voices of E3 to discuss Black representation in the games we love.
But no, yeah, so yeah, it's at least still one of my bucket lists is just to go to at least one per year, or at least one, just one at least. So
Hello, I'm Amber. I am a moderator for E3's
Hey, look,
Black Representation in Gaming panel. Today, I am excited to present to you J.Ann Lopez, Zach TTG, Tanya DePass, and Fiona Nova. We're going to be talking about creating better representation in the gaming space. First, if we could do like a quick, brief intro of everybody, starting with J.Ann.
My name's J.Ann Lopez. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Girl Gamers, which is a community-focused platform started about 6 years ago now. It is the largest platform of Black women gamers in the space globally. We are a space that do workshop events. We change the narratives in gaming when it comes to representation in the past and the present and future. We also discuss the workforce, and we also do talent brokering as well. So an area that I've moved into is talent brokering of Black women content creators to work with brands.
How you guys doing? Zach TTG. First, I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to come here. I'm a YouTuber and streamer. I'm part of a group called 2Hype. And we recently just joined 100 Thieves esports organization, so representing those guys too. But yeah, I just make sports content. I stream sports games, make sports videos, play sports. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hey everyone, I'm Fiona Nova. I am a comedy online content creator. I work at Achievement Hunter, Rooster Teeth, as well as a creative producer at G4.
Hey, I'm Tanya. What I do is I founded and run I Need Diverse Games, which is a not-for-profit aiming to get more people in the industry and keep them there. I also am a partnered Twitch streamer and content creator, and I also do a lot of RPG work. I created Into the Motherlands, which is an all-Black and POC crude stream and soon-to-be setting book. And I do a whole lot both in the RPG and video game space.
Awesome. So the first question that we have today is, I'd like for us to talk a little bit about why it's important for games where players create their own characters to have better representation.
Because a character creator can't be, you know, like the 5 different shades of beige that we all get, the nondescript brown that nobody really is in real life. You know, we all come in different shades. And it'd be great if if any one of us on this panel could create a real facsimile of ourselves in these character creators. And some games are doing better with skin tone, but a lot of games are still falling behind when it comes to hair. You know, I can't think of many games where I can actually have my hair, which is locks, and they're gonna have it not look like yarn or steel wool. And you know, the overall thing, before anybody else jumps in, is that gaming is global, and they need to realize that it's not just 18 and 35-year-old white dudes playing and buying these games and making these games. So if you're not thinking about the people sitting there with a controller in their hand at the keyboard, you're not thinking about your audience, and my money's just as green as anybody else's. So it's a clear sign you don't actually want my money if you don't think I belong in the game worlds you're creating.
Basically, everything that Tanya said, and
Yeah, I really
also
have
to
no
add on
idea.
to the
I
kind of
thought this
hair
was,
and skin
like,
tone is the
already done
facial
before,
features.
so-
A lot of the time when you're playing,
Well, I guess
like
you just wanna
a
reiterate if
custom,
anything, so-
character creator in a game, the character will be black but have very European focused features, so it looks like the character's in blackface, and it's not a nice experience for you to have when you're playing the game. I was literally playing a game yesterday where I created my own character, and I literally just disengaged because I was like, I don't like this character. She doesn't really represent me, and she looks weird, and the hair is weird, and it just feels off. And that's a game that's recently just come out. So we still have a lot of work to do in this space, and everything that Tanya said is completely accurate.
Especially character customization is essentially you're trying to put yourself in the game, and if you can't put yourself in the game, you're trying to make someone that looks like you, because you're trying to get immersed into a game and in a world. And if that person's not looking like you, and there's no way to make it look like you, then it's just like what's the point, essentially?
I mean, a lot of sports games, like, it's hard for me to find my skin tone because it's either like white or black, and I'm both of those, so there's nothing in the middle. The hair, like, it's hard to find hair, like, not, you could be maybe a black skin color character, but your hair is like
Yeah,
short
there's
and
always kind of
straight.
truth, especially
Like,
like,
that's,
well,
we don't really
me.
look like that. It's
a little bit
hard
hard
to
though
find
sometimes.
exactly what it is, and I think if you can have like this
But,
RBG
I mean, I always try to go for at least
RGB
the
spectrum of
nearest
t-shirts, like, why can't you have that
colors
for
to
skin
it, so.
colors? I feel like the coding is kind of, it's not hard.
Yeah.
I understand coding.
I'm
I know
afraid
you
what
can
the
do
chat's
it.
gonna say,
It's
or
just
what the
a lot
chat
of
is saying.
studios don't think about
Yep.
that when they're creating the game.
I know that we touched on it a little bit, but could we
the
talk
chat, it's
about
ruthless, I'll
what
tell you that
better
much.
representation looks like in video games?
Looks like us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And not just us as well, because
Just so many
if you look on
different
the
people.
exactly, because if you look on the spectrum, we are on the light and bright, and it's essential to represent all different shades, especially in the gaming industry. And I think it's key to understand that representation has to be authentic, and it has to be accurate, and you can't just throw in a black character and think it's going to work. It's not always going to work, because at the end of the day, as people of color or black people, we're going to notice straight away, boom, that's not right. Like, that looks odd. I know Tanya does it a lot. I do it a lot. And we just like, who's in the team? Because we can immediately tell. So I think it needs to also, the representation on screen is a reflection of sometimes, a lot of the time, a reflection of who's working on the game.
Absolutely. That's literally what I was getting ready to say, is you can tell some of the games, like, there's no black people working on these games. There's no, people of color. There's no Hispanic people working on the games, because none of the characters look anything like those types of people at all. And I see that some studios try, but like you said, like, when we get a hold of that game, we can see right through it. Like, I appreciate the effort, but you didn't do it right.
But I also think it's so easy to just hire a black person to come in and help y'all out. Like, I just think I think it's something that's super easy to fix.
Bouncing off of what we've been talking about so far is, for better or for worse, there has been a big uptick, possibly for, as you guys said, optics. So, two phases to this question. One, what can the game industry itself do to help that momentum and keep black people in the public eye, keep our voices elevated? And two, what can we as a community do to help with
Like,
that
it's
momentum?
not like I'm not interested. It's
I would
more
say,
just,
I think
well, I
the
guess
key
I say
word
I'm
here
kind
is
of not really
longevity
interested,
and
but just got,
consistency.
I
think when it comes to
Like,
programs,
I understand
make
it,
sure
it's just
they
like,
are on an
it's
annual
not,
basis, making
like, I
sure that
understand,
you're working with
yeah, so.
organizations or content creators on an annual basis, so that they can continuously have that visibility, or either or do the work that needs to be done. That, I think that's the key thing. Again, like I mentioned before, a lot of companies will dip their toe, support, and then leave. And I think that's one of the problems, is that there's no consistency. And I think also the part of the problem is that a lot of game companies, because of the makeup of this industry, they've created this imaginary racial equal race haven that we don't actually have. And so no one really understands how to discuss race and representation critically and well. I think there's a lot of surface level discussion that continues, that we should be past a long time ago. There should be some intake programs for companies on an annual basis that should be normal. That should be normal. We shouldn't be celebrating it anymore. That should be a normal thing that should be happening. But again, because we're so late in the game, pardon the pun, it just feels like we should be celebrating things that should already be happening for us. Like, hurry up.
Yeah.
Sorry, basically.
The other thing that happens, this panel notwithstanding, anytime or most of the time when I'm asked to do stuff, it's a diversity panel. It sucks to be brown in the industry. I have a UX degree. I've been streaming for 7 years. I'm creating RPGs. I've been doing a lot of stuff. But anytime I get reached out to, it's like, oh, can you come and talk about diversity? And yes, that is part of my job, but that's not the only thing I ever want to talk about. I want to sit and chill with people about Street Fighter V strats. I want to talk about, I suck at Bloodborne. I need to get better. How can people help me with that? There are things that we can all talk about that do not involve the trauma of being Black in these spaces. And it's trauma. It's not just, oh, somebody was mean to me today, blah, blah, blah. Some days it's legit traumatic to still be on the internet as a Black person, let alone show your face, anything else. And just give people the resources, give us the space to grow and but not make it an after school special. Oh, look, here's this one spot for the brown kids, go. And then give us one laptop, one coding course, and like, deuces, hope you succeed. Give us mentorship, give us these other things. And by give, I mean, you still got to apply, you still got to be the standard.
I'm just expecting,
but a lot of times when I've done programs, I'm one of 2 or 3 Black people. Or I'm the only brown person in the room, the only woman in the room, or non-man in the room, the only outwardly queer person. And sometimes they'll use that, we got all 3 in one person, let's go.
They do that with me. Yep. And they also use that, and I also can see it where they'll use me instead of like a dark-skinned Black woman because I can pass, right?
It's true.
Yep.
And
You're
it's
more
true.
acceptable.
You're more acceptable. Yeah, I am.
I get the same thing.
You get the same thing. You're light-skinned.
Yep.
But you're Black.
But I'm still
you're
Black.
gay. Yeah. Like, oh, you're gay. You have like all 3. It checks out, or whatever. It's like it's like a checklist.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting, really, and it's very frustrating because I can see it. I know.
Yeah, and I think that us as creators and other Black content creators, I think when we do get these opportunities to say something, we need to speak up and we need to be ourselves. If you get an opportunity to host, you got to put on. You know what I'm saying? You don't conform to what they want you to be. Be yourself. Represent yourself. Like people are saying, like Black people are loud. Keep being loud until they hear us.
I'm not trying to be
that's
kind of like
you
that.
are. If you're a loud person, you're a
in
loud person. It doesn't
between
matter if you're Black or white. Just be
this
yourself.
and this,
because
though.
there's other people out there that look like you or that feel like you or talk like you.
Bandai
They want to
Namco's
be represented.
Was really
so we have to
with
do
just
our
that.
part
They
to
should have at least
represent
done something
them
like
because we would
this,
want that ourselves if we were in
just
their
to show off
shoes looking up.
only one game, basically.
Yeah, because I mean, I
they
even
basically
said
put it up to
today
the
on
point
Twitter,
where,
we're doing this.
At least Warner Bros.
I know for a
and
fact if I
24
wasn't
Entertainment,
late,
at least they put
I wouldn't be where I'm at.
saying like,
'Cause
hey, we're
nobody
just only
would listen to me as a
showcasing
dark-skinned
this game,
woman.
and
Nobody.
basically like Warner Bros. Was showing this game only. But
Sad
Bandai Namco's
truth, unfortunately.
basically put it up, basically saying like,
Yeah,
oh hey,
but
you
it's
know,
like, oh,
we're gonna have more than one game.
You know,
we're gonna show
smart,
off
you know,
and
stuff.
everything,
I'm like, but if I was darker, you
But-
know that I would immediately
yeah.
be dismissed. Let's just be real.
That is all the time that we have for this panel. I want to thank all of you for making time to come here. This has been very illuminating and very salient.
First, you know,
I
the
wanted to
chat's
go
being
ahead
really
and
toxic,
thank my 4 guests
as
one more
usual.
time: Jan Lopez, Zach TTG, Fiona Nova, and Tanya DePass. Thank you for tuning in to E3 2021, and we will see you soon.
Thank God I always keep it in full screen mode to ignore those assholes.
As E3 2021 comes to a close, we want to take the time to honor the developers' hard work and the oohs and ahs they gave us over the last 4 days. Voted on by representatives from our media partners, IGN, IGN China, PC Gamer, GameSpot, GamesRadar, and Game Bonfire, we have selected the most anticipated games that were announced by each developer or publisher, as well as the most anticipated game overall announced all week long. To be eligible for an individual award, developer, publisher, or studio had to showcase more than one game, and we will even honor the best presentation of this year's Expo. So with
There goes
that,
Bandai Namco.
drum roll please, Golden Boy. We present to you the 2021 E3 Awards. All right, starting with our first developer, Ubisoft. The award for most anticipated Ubisoft game goes to Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Really?
I didn't see it coming.
Extraction, but fine.
And I was going to say Far
Rainbow
Cry. I
Six,
thought that would have been a
too.
shoe.
Yeah,
That's
me
it
too.
as
I didn't see that
well.
one coming, but of
Well,
course.
when this one was, kind of got out there a little early, everyone was excited
Sure,
about it.
no, I love Mario Rabbids, so
yeah.
another
Yeah.
one I'm all about. Yeah.
First
Really?
game was fantastic. No shocker here. This is
I'm
cool.
sorry, but
Yeah, makes
really,
sense, I guess, on that
really
one.
did
So
not.
let's move on then.
Really?
Gearbox Software closed us out on Saturday's
That's kinda
preview night,
interesting.
and the award for most anticipated game from their presentation goes to Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Of course.
Of course,
No
yeah.
offense to Godfall, but of course it was going to be Tiny Tina.
Everybody's
Exactly.
always
that
like
was the
that.
one,
if
right, that
anything,
we've
so.
been aching
That
for
was-
more
everybody
information
was-
on, right?
yeah.
Still just getting that sizzle teaser. It's like, okay,
Just
let's
a
a little bit.
taste,
I know,
just
right?
a little
Yeah.
taste, but definitely in for that one. I mean, the cast alone, Will
Sure,
Arnett, Wanda
yeah.
Sykes, Adam Sandberg, I'm like,
Ashley
That's a
Burke.
huge
Indie, I
ass
have some respect
cast
on the
though
name.
for that
I
game
was-
too as well. It's crazy.
I don't know why I just said
I wonder how the
Adam.
I
Borderlands
think you're
movie's
thinking
gonna be.
Sandler.
I didn't
Which
think
Andy
you. I
Samberg
was like,
will be really mad
what?
about that. So
Sorry,
Somebody
everybody.
put this out, send it to Andy
Sorry.
Samberg. So
send it to Andy's people.
Next up for discussion is Xbox and Bethesda, and the award for most anticipated game for
Halo?
Xbox or Bethesda is Golden Boy.
Starfield?
Halo
Yep.
Infinite.
Definitely.
Yes.
No, Redfall?
That was no. That's
Can
I'm sorry, but
I mean, don't get me wrong.
No,
Redfall looks
Halo
awesome. Go get him
Infinite,
arcade,
yes,
but like.
for
we've
sure,
been waiting
for
for
sure.
years
Yeah,
for
I'm
this
excited
thing.
for this one.
Since
well,
they announced
obviously
it.
for it being Halo, but for the future of the franchise, it looks really good. They did a great passover with the graphics, which is something everyone really wanted to see.
Yeah.
They also had an awesome multiplayer showcase where they showed a whole bunch of new features like bots that are going to be coming to the game, which is
Dude.
great for players that maybe are a little too intimidated to play against actual players. That they could, go in there, learn the ropes,
Yep.
get in, play some Halo against their friends. It's awesome. I'm so excited for Halo Infinite.
All right. Square Enix caught our attention with their list of announcements, but the award for most anticipated Square Enix game goes to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yay,
That one,
you're
I'll
all
admit, that
smiles.
one's
I am
pretty
all
good.
smiles.
Yeah.
A shoe in again.
Oh,
IDOS Montreal coming out. This
That
is
was
what
actually
we've been
pretty
talking about all
interesting,
week
especially
long
the
when we were
soundtrack was
previewing and
really
hinting
good
around about
on that
rumors,
one
right?
too as
About
well.
IDOS Montreal, incredibly talented studio. Deus Ex, a game franchise, and especially their two, that
Yeah.
has cemented them to so many fans as an amazing developer.
Yeah.
But it's a different kind of game. It's an IP maybe you don't connect with, maybe you don't get involved. Putting Marvel in front of that, I think, is really going to boost their profile and show the world what they can do the same way Insomniac did with Spider-Man.
It was such a great
Exactly.
presentation, too. I mean, we got such an inside look at the game and saw the mechanics and just how the characters look, and the funny lines delivered, so I'm excited for that one.
Of course.
Yep.
The PC gaming
The
show was a
timing
lot
was
of
pretty
fun
good, though,
and
too, as
brought
well.
us so many looks at an array of cool games on the horizon.
I
But the
didn't get to check
award
that
for
out,
most
just because I was-
anticipated game of their presentation
Yeah.
goes to Songs of Conquest.
Okay, interesting one. Yeah, yes, this one was actually really nice.
I mean, look at the art style
the
right
animation.
there, right?
Pixel art style. I mean, that
Pretty
goes to show
interesting.
you, too, how many games were shown at the
Yes.
PC Gamer
More than
Showcase.
30, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But this is Coffee Stain,
That's a
I
lot.
believe, a great group.
I might need to
this
check that
is
out.
going to be a game to look out for, undoubtedly. Looks
Definitely might
fantastic.
need to check that out.
And, if it's a Coffee Stain production, it's going to have great
You know it's
value.
gonna be good. You know
So
it's
many
gonna be-
games embracing the stylized pixel art, and I love it.
Yes.
I'm here for it. I'm
Yes.
here
So-
for the classic twist, baby.
So did the
So,
It'd be
entire
funny,
media
people
panel.
from
That's all
the
I can
80s,
say.
like if they travel to the future and see games
Future
with
games
Pixar,
wasn't
they
to be
think like, do we
outdone with
even
a list
move
of titles
ahead?
to catch our eyes. And the award for most anticipated game goes to Immortality. Don't read ahead. Don't read ahead.
Sorry, I cheated.
You don't ooh before I say what it is.
This is a very ominous teaser here. If you guys
100%,
remember,
yeah,
the
yeah.
poster's just going up in flames, as you're about to see behind us. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the music got me, and it was just the mystery of this one. So I definitely want to see more.
Yeah, there's
Well, I mean, coming off
definitely
the
some
success of
conferences
Telling
I
Lies,
do
right?
need
A
to
game
go
that
check out
relies
again
on
because
video footage, right?
there's certain
getting
ones
into it.
I
Her
was
story,
pretty
the game
tired and
before
it was
that
getting
really
really hot in my
established
room
this from
because
Sam,
I
right?
couldn't.
Going in, what's the story? You being the tech
Yeah,
figuring it all
so-
out. Immediately shot to the top of my list as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
won't
definitely
cheat
there's
anymore.
definitely going to be
Don't
checking
hold
out,
on you either.
but
Promise.
yeah.
And television knocked our socks off with a family-friendly console reveal, and the most anticipated game from that presentation is Asteroids.
Simple, baby.
A classic,
It's
a classic, right? Yeah,
Can't
you're
be
gonna
mad
do it.
about that, dude.
Yeah.
I put Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, but that was just like they're working on an Earthworm Jim. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
okay,
they didn't
okay,
show
okay,
the game. This is all about how the controllers work and getting everybody together to play a simple version of something, and that's
That's pretty crazy. They're actually bringing back a console.
It's got Jackie Silver proof.
That's
but we're all
really
right.
crazy.
That's a real award.
When it comes to indies, there are so many great indie titles to choose from, and they all show us that there's really no gap between small games and AAA games in 2021. The award for most anticipated indie game goes to Falling Frontier.
Oh, yeah.
This
Yeah,
one
yeah.
got you too? This is on your radar?
Yeah, this one looked really good. I mean, well, for one, anything with a
what is
space,
this?
you know,
Ooh.
angle to it is
Sure.
always going to
What
be a
is
winner for
this?
me. And I believe this is the one that was like
an
more of a
RTS space
strategic
combat?
type of atmosphere that it presented. So I actually really like this game. And again, you know, the indie game
looks
showcase was very
pretty
competitive as
cool.
well.
Yeah.
Lots of great games shown.
Ooh, that's something I gotta keep a check on.
And I think, you know, the indie scene bled so much beyond the showcase, right? Where there were so many different indie games peppered throughout presentations, different publishers, even GameSpot today, like they had so many great things. Competitive space for sure. Speaking of competitive,
looks really interesting.
Freedom Games established themselves again as a dev that makes family-friendly games that are fun. And the most anticipated one from their announcement goes to Airborne Kingdom. This is the first one I will argue about.
Okay.
What? Who did the dog
I
sit?
was like,
Come on. It's a great game. I'm not
It
knocking
looks
it.
awesome.
To
It
the
does
rescue.
look really
no love
good.
for To the
Freedom Games.
Cafe Manager.
Exactly.
They had
Aye.
so
Too many good games.
many games.
There was
If-
too
Too many
many.
good games.
For me, and I think for all of us, and even for our media friends, I think Freedom Games was like a star of the show for us. So many great games from that group, and I'm so excited to see what they're going to be bringing in the future. Because now that they're on the map, I'm sure more people are going to be paying attention.
100%, yeah, and I think their presentation was so good at putting developers as people front and center.
Yeah.
This is who we are. We're a small team. This is what we're
Goes
doing
to
and why
show
we're
how
doing it.
passionate we are that we were like, there's so many games, you know,
True.
so it was
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
Good job,
showing their
Freedom
story
Games.
to create the story. I loved it.
Exactly. All right, Capcom is no stranger to anticipated games in their library, and after Monday's presentation, the panel voted the most anticipated game is The Great Ace Attorney. Two great
Yeah,
Japanese
I'll give it to
Phoenix
that
Wright
one.
I thought
games
your
coming here.
Monstie was gonna get this.
You know,
one.
I was gonna give that one
too, but
because
I was ready to say Monstie.
not really
stories
much from
too.
Capcom.
Well, I'm
Like,
glad
Monstie,
we're
you
getting
not really
the
much.
hashtag.
I did.
This game
I
looks
did.
great, though. I
Of
can't
course
take it
it
away.
does. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
all
Yeah,
they
yeah.
said,
Phoenix Wright
especially for
already has
Resident
such a
Evil, they
passion
said
about
like,
it.
oh hey,
To
we're
finally get
gonna
these
have a
games over
multiplayer
from there,
aspects
go back
to
in
add
time,
it to
see the
Resident
lineage of
Evil
it, be in merry old
back in the
England
game,
before
and
you
then
go
we
through
are
it.
definitely gonna have a DLC
And,
lined
heard a
up.
lot
Like
of
we
showings.
announced, we have a DLC, but
Best name ever.
it's
So that's
barely
a-
started
that's a
production
winner.
on DLCs
job,
for
Capcom.
it, basically.
Now, Nintendo opened up the final day today, dropping a few gems, but the award for most anticipated announcement had to go to
Smash
Breath
Brothers?
of the Wild 2.
Oh, okay,
Come on,
yeah.
Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, that one's.
I'll argue
This
this one, man.
opening.
Metroid was great.
Metroid was also
I
a big
don't
surprise
know
from
that
today.
one.
I
I'm
was not
excited
expecting
for
that Metroid
Sorry,
game
don't mind
today.
me.
Are you excited for Breath of the Wild 2, though?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I am.
I
Obviously.
definitely need to
Nintendo
rebuy this
showed a
game
lot of
and really
awesome
complete
stuff.
it,
Breath
too,
of the Wild
because
2, though, we
it's
were
such a good
hoping we
game.
were gonna
I
get
just
it.
have yet
We
to
got
actually
a lot
beat it.
more than what I was anticipating.
'Cause I, needed
And,
money for
this
it.
is going to be a special one.
Yeah, of course, targeting 2022. I love how honest they're being of like, we're targeting 2022. Like, there's a lot that goes into this game. A lot could happen, and we are, as we talked about multiple times throughout this entire show, coming off of a global pandemic.
Yes.
So it's a miracle
Yeah.
we're getting any games, let alone the fact that we're seeing Nintendo be transparent about it.
I'm
let alone
surprised
the rest of their
there are
lineup,
any games
including Advance
released.
Wars, don't forget.
Oh my goodness.
Released
goodness.
in
I just want to get my hand
2020.
on that flamethrower gauntlet thingy and just.
Of course. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You know, okay.
You don't have rage
Me
issues.
and the
A little
violence.
concerned. This is my friend. My
We
friend.
got to see some great things from Eureka Studio. The award for most anticipated game from them is Loop Mancer.
Yes. This one came out of the gate fast, and I think a lot of people were just like, visually stunning.
Yeah.
You know, side scroller, got a lot of action in there. I'm keeping this one on my radar for sure.
This trailer just hit all the check marks. Like you said, animation, the music, protagonist looks amazing. Look
Production
at this
value.
villain.
Wow.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
100%. So not surprised by that at all.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The appetizers are out of the way. It's time for the big ones. We had a number of great presentations over the last 4 days, making this award a very difficult one to choose. But someone had to, and our panel voted. The best presentation of
Xbox.
E3 this year was
Xbox.
Xbox and Bethesda's
definitely.
showcase.
Without a doubt.
Definitely, yeah.
To the medal from the start.
Easily the
It's
best
all
presentation
gas,
out
it's
of the
Todd Howard,
whole
it's
year.
Starfield, all the way through
Or out of
to
the whole
Arcane
series.
and saying, hey, bite me.
I know all the
Yeah.
Nintendo
You know what I
fanboys
mean?
are probably
In between
angry
a
that
million
they're not
different games,
getting it, but
more than 30 games.
honestly,
27 of them coming to Game Pass. I might be getting the numbers wrong.
Ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the
and
overwhelming
honestly,
majority do
I
Game
really
Pass days.
agree with
And
this
I
one
just wanted
because
to point out
Xbox
that
really
there
deserves
was a
it.
lot of predictions going
Especially
into
the
this.
fact
I had
that,
thought
like-
that we were going to get Halo Infinite first, get that out of the way,
Yeah.
and then we'll close out with Starfield. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah.
But the fact that Xbox was like, nope, Bethesda, you're going to open and close the show. You're going to give us all the good stuff. Like
That's one thing I was
really
expecting,
feel
too.
good
I was
about
expecting at
this,
least
the
Halo to, like,
future here for Bethesda as a
Halo to be
huge
the very
Bethesda
ending
fan.
point, not the very middle, the
yeah, man,
ending
this
point,
was,
too.
This was a great showing. Lots of great games.
I was going to comment on the structure as well. I just thought when they started with Starfield, I was like, ooh, okay, bold choice,
Yeah.
you know? And then they had Halo Infinite in the middle, and it was just perfection, everything that I wanted. And then wrapping it up with vampires, I was just like, okay, they nailed it for me. So,
Actually,
yeah.
I'm curious about
To
the
put a
animal
bow
battle
on it,
royale
you know,
game too,
leading
though,
into it,
or
they talked about there will be a clear
Animal
delineation between
Gang Beast
Xbox
style
and
game
Bethesda,
too.
which I for sure thought it was going to be whatever, half Xbox, and then now let's turn it
Exactly.
to our friends at Bethesda.
Could have been easily like
And
that.
instead, they delineated by saying, hey, I'm Todd Howard from Bethesda. Hey, I'm Pete Hines from Bethesda. Hey, I'm Phil from Xbox. And they shook it up that way so you knew what you were getting and how this whole ecosystem was going to work. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, I
very
felt like
cool.
the timing was perfect, and they delivered on every single title.
Plus the
as
fact
much
that
as I
like
wanted. I
everybody's
didn't
been
feel like,
griping
oh,
about
I want
Xbox
more.
not
Okay,
having
getting
a
a waterfall of
exclusive.
info here, you know, so.
Like
props
everybody's
to
been
y'all.
griping about Xbox not having exclusives,
There
but
can
this
be
they
only
really
winners.
show
Most
Xbox.
anticipated game overall. A tough decision, I'm
Ooh.
sure,
Let it be
amongst our
Halo.
media panel, but they decided to give the most anticipated
Halo.
game of 2021 to I was going to see what they wanted. It's Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon
What?
5
Wow.
won most anticipated
Hold up,
game
what?
overall.
Wow.
Shocking. Not because
What?
Forza's not a great game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I would have, if you would have asked me, I'm going to say it's going to be Halo or it's going to be Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
And
at
yet
least
soon
one
you
of
get
the
to one of
two.
the classic situations at an E3, right? Where the votes got broken. Where it was that a whole bunch of people went for Breath of the Wild and a whole bunch of people
What?
went the other direction for Halo or for whatever, and then here you go.
Well,
Forza's
also
able to surge
remember
ahead.
too, this is 2021, so perhaps the panel was also looking at what games
Great
are going to be
point.
coming out
You're
this
right.
year. Forza,
You're right.
obviously, always a winner. Every Forza Horizon game has been brilliant. So this is not a shocker to me because these games are great. Visually speaking as well, ridiculous. Like I
I agree with that, but
the whole time we're like, is that a picture?
Noticing
Or, no,
from-
that's the game.
I don't know,
And
from
they knew
fan
it,
hype
and they kept
to,
doing it,
like-
and it worked every single time.
I don't
Brilliant.
know. This was from fan
Yeah,
hype to
I
like
think I was
basically
telling
like to
Golden
like
Boy earlier that
how
I'm
much
a
people were
very
waiting for.
awful
If anything,
driver,
all
and
like
so
that,
I
I would
love games like
expect
this,
at
too.
least
Then I
Halo
can
to win
just,
for
like,
that, and
drive
if
in
not,
these beautiful landscapes
especially at the
and
very last
incredibly
moment, Breath of the
expensive
Wild would at
cars
least
and,
gotten that.
You know, not damage anything.
I would not be. I would be happy if any of those two would have gotten it, but really, Forza? What the hell are they smoking?
It was.
What?
But, and, one of the reasons I think it's shocking, but one of the reasons it's really cool is what you said, right? Is that year in, year out, Forza Horizon is great. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And so usually when you have something like that, what happens? Oh, you start to take it for granted. Oh, that's going to be awesome no matter what.
Exactly.
I'm excited by the
Yes.
bells and whistles. I'm excited for the brand new thing. And then here you are. Everybody understands.
Well
quality.
deserved. Well deserved.
Believe it or not, ladies and
I don't
gentlemen,
know, that's
it for this year's coverage of E3, everyone. A huge thank you to our friends at Binge and iHeartRadio, the #1 podcasting platform in the United States. Of course, thank you to our entire media crew, the team at IGN, and all the developers over the last 4 days. I will leave you with one final message. We will see you all back here in person, live from Los Angeles in 2022. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I'll tell you, I really loved their set, if anything. So, but yeah, freaking. This year was actually pretty good. Like, even though like it's still like a good amount of games, but the fact that like I don't know, like if anything, like it's still like hyped up. At least it's still as it was E3 every year. You know, of course, it's disappointments, but like also it's amazing showcases and stuff too. But really, Forza Horizon for most anticipated game? I would expect at least even Far Cry to be on there too, but Forza? Alright. I'm just glad it wasn't like that game. Really, that beat out for Ubisoft, really? But no, yeah, freaking I'm actually interested in that game or in that movie right there. But no, yeah, freaking, yeah, as I said, freaking next year, if I'm not going or anything, just expect me to start streaming next year for the next E3 and everything. But if by the off chance I do actually make it to over there, expect to see me in-person reactions, and if not, at least doing my own little vlog on it if I really know how to do vlogs. But anyway, yeah, it's overall there's so many. Oh, I forgot about the Pirates of the Caribbean, Sea of Thieves, and the freaking mini fridge already. But no, yeah, freaking, it's been a good E3 and everything. So, but yeah, thank you for joining me this year, and I'll definitely will be having a reaction video, or the best of reaction videos throughout this whole E3 by the time I live stream and everything. And basically, I'll give some final thoughts and stuff of the stuff I saw. I guess my own best award show and everything too as well. So basically, my own like little like awards and everything for my own personal stuff, because at least for me, it's like different, of course, usual. So, but yeah, thank you for joining me on this stream. And if I do keep streaming later on, just go ahead and well, hit the follow button. Basically, hit the notification too as well. I'm gonna be always streaming on Twitch, YouTube. If you're friends with me on my personal Facebook, if it works, it'll stream onto that. If you're on my Twitter, it'll be streaming straight to Periscope. And basically, yeah. Also, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well too. I do have a second channel. I haven't got any videos off, but it's basically gonna be like for a live, like unreleased footages, any clips that doesn't make sense on being on the main channel, or like I don't have like any use of it being on the main channel and everything. So yeah, it's called Seth126, and basically just subscribe to both of those channels if you're really interested, and just enjoy the videos that you're gonna see coming out soon. All right, thank you for watching, and hope you all have a good night, and I hope you had a good E3 streaming with me. Good night, have fun.